welcome to Home Cooking with Holly. Today we're going to make chicken with gravy. It's a delicious, easy dinner and one of my go-tos when I'm in a hurry. This is a simple way I like to prepare chicken. Works great on a weeknight, doesn't take that long. First I'm going to clean the chicken breasts. There's some meat in here. Don't mind having little nuggets. I'm going to remove the thick membranes and the large chunks of chicken fat. It's okay to leave some chicken fat on there because fat really is flavor. You've probably heard that before. It's true. Take off the tender portion here. And then this part, I'm actually going to place my hand on top and press down, and I'm going to make smaller chicken breasts by cutting them lengthwise. They'll cook up faster and more evenly that way. And that's it. Now these little pieces and the tenders I can actually slice up and use in a stir fry. I just save them in a freezer bag till I have enough and I'm ready to use them. Sometimes one of these might be thick enough that you can actually get a third piece of chicken from it. So I'll go through and check them just to see if they're thick enough to cut again. Looks like this one might be. Now, I'm going to lay my chicken breast pieces out here. And I'm going to hit them with salt and pepper, my best friends. And I'm going to be generous. I'm going to sear this seasoning in. All right, chicken hand, clean hand. Flip them over. Now, if I had gotten these out of the freezer, I would have also patted them dry to get that excess moisture off of them. But these are fresh, so no need to do that unless you find they have a lot of water content on them. Then you definitely want to pat them dry. It helps the seasoning to stick. And they're ready to go in our pan. I've got my 12-inch cast iron skillet here. You can use any fry pan, non-stick, whatever you prefer. I'm just going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of butter. And I'm going to let that melt. And I'm going to do this over a medium-high heat. Now you can sear your chicken breasts just like this with salt and pepper, or you can add some flour to your chicken breasts. Gives it a smoother, richer texture, I think. And again, I have a chicken hand and a non-chicken hand so that I am able to do this without spreading any bacteria. You can also use tongs. to flip them over, but I already have my hand chickeny from putting the flour on there, so no harm. Just make sure you don't cross-contaminate anything. And again, just some flour just to coat it. I don't measure it, I just kind of sprinkle it over. Make a little mess. All right, now we just wait for our pan to get really hot. Can you see how the little bubbles are starting to pop? This is letting me know that it's come up to temperature. Now I'm going to use my tongs, shake off the excess flour, and lay the chicken breasts away from me. That's important because you don't want to accidentally splatter any grease. It's giving me a nice sizzle. Now I don't want to overcrowd my pan, so I'm only going to do half of the chicken breast at a time. All right, the chicken is sizzling away. I've turned it down to a medium heat. I'm just going to take a peek here. Not quite ready. You want to get some browning on there before we flip it. Should take about 4 minutes. And as you can see, the edges are starting to look more cooked. That's letting me know that it's about time to flip it over. All right, now I'm going to give it a flip. And again, you're going to flip it away from you. I turned my pan a bit because I have my platter here next to me. And we're going to give it about 4 more minutes on this side. But I'm a huge fan of using a thermometer to tell you when your meat is finished. So what you want to do is stick it into the thickest part of the chicken. I go up to that little line there that was on mine. Some of them don't have a line, that's fine. Just make sure you stick it about halfway in. And that will help to tell me when it is done. We want to reach an internal temperature between 162 and 165. I like to pull it at 162 because it will continue to cook when I remove it from the pan, and I do not want my chicken breast to dry out. First batch is done, so now I'm doing the second batch. You may need to add a little more oil or butter if you don't feel that you have enough left in your pan, but don't overdo it because we're using these juices to make our delicious gravy, and we don't want it to be oily. I did add about a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half more of oil for mine. Now this batch will cook a little bit faster because that pan is so hot. My 2 thinner pieces are done, so I've set them off onto a platter. And we're just waiting for the 2 pieces that were slightly thicker to cook through. We're almost there. We've got about 8 degrees to go. Now you see all these delicious bits of chicken that's still on there. We want that. That is full of flavor for our gravy. So I'm going to just use some white wine. I would say about 1/3 cup. This is just to deglaze the pan. And this pan you can use metal utensils in, but be careful. Make sure you can use them before you do. Otherwise you want to use more like a silicone utensil. And I'm just going to kind of scrape around and release some of that delicious chicken, that coating that's on there. Then over medium heat, I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter. And a couple tablespoons of flour. And I'm just going to make a roux for our gravy. And that butter is going to melt. And all that delicious baked on chicken flavor is going to come up. Now you want to make sure you mix in that flour. You don't want to taste flour, you want to taste gravy. I'm going to add about a cup of chicken broth. You can use prepared, canned, carton chicken broth, bouillon cubes. I like to use loose bouillon. And I need a cup of water to about 1.5 teaspoons of my bouillon. And I'm just going to whisk that in. And I'm going to add some pepper, just to taste. It's coming to a nice boil, so I'm going to turn off my heat and let that residual heat continue to thicken my gravy. If you have a gas stove, instead of turning it off, you would want to turn it to a low flame. I hope that you'll try this recipe. Please like and subscribe to follow me for more recipes and cooking tips.